And now when the outside line comes up like it does, then the guys on the inside aren't going to be quite as patient as they have been. Look at Todd. He's thinking about going up through the middle.
Across the stripe, it was Colin Brown that was out front, but Mike Skinner was just 61 1/1000ths of a second behind him in that outside line.
Johnny Sutter jumps to the outside, actually gets out of that line.
That might be a case there, Phil, where he just got too much water temperature. It might have gotten a little hot. He said, I'm going to have to take a break from this action, guys, and get my water temperature down.
He knows we have 69 laps left. Plenty of time. He can get to the pit road there, take some more tape off.
Look at our buddy Mario Goslin and his monkey tire truck.
My Tire Monkey. MyTireMonkey.com truck. And what a great day it is for Mario Goslin. Obviously, having the sponsor come on board and letting him know that he's going to be running a complete season in 2010. He wants to be competitive and see if he can run for a championship next year.
I'm telling you, I'm watching Colin Brown. That truck's dancing around a little bit.
Well, it's because of the fact that the outside line has gotten there. It's slowed the inside line down. Now they're getting a lot of bump drafting. A lot of trucks are being able to push right up from behind and make trucks unstable. There goes a flat tire.
Problems with the 80-80. Almost gets into the wall. There must be some issues with that truck.
I believe he's got a flat tire. It looked like he got a little squirrely when he jumped out of the throttle.
Slowing way down. It looks as though the left side tires are up. The right front tire looks up. Maybe that right rear.
Judging from the way it acted, it has to be a right rear tire. Look at Skinner. He's gotten the lead from Colin Brown down in turn 3. But here comes that inside line. A big push from Eric Almirola is going to give Brown the lead back.
Mike Skinner may have been able to pull down in front of Colin Brown, but he wasn't going to leave his wingman. Kyle Busch helped him get there. He stayed out there right in the outside line.
Boy, you have to really trust exactly what that guy behind you is doing. Right now, Mike Skinner's whole race, his whole day is in the hands of Kyle Busch. How hard will Kyle push me, and will he make sure he pushes me properly?
Sure enough, right rear tire down on the 88 of Matt Crafton. Ray.
And he's going to come to the pits here, Rick, to put right side tires on this thing. But while he sits here and they get that action done, it's very likely that the field will roll by him through the tri-oval here. The guys go, they're going to do just 2 tires for him. Not very likely that he can get back out of the pits before the field goes by. Work is done. Here goes Crafton. Will he make it out? Yes, he's going to beat the field and stay on the tail end of that lap.
Well, they're going to have a head of steam, though, when they get there. He may go back a lap down, but he'll be in a great position for that Aaron's lucky dog if he does get down a lap.
Yeah, he'll be the only truck that's 1 lap down. Norm Benning is now 3 laps down to the field. So Matt Crafton will be, as you mentioned, the first truck that will be eligible for that lucky dog from Aaron's. How about Colin Brown pulling that inside line back out to the front?
Boy, they're 3 and 4 wide getting around the 88 of Matt Crafton as he comes back to the racetrack. Let's see if we can take a look at back what happened to Matt Crafton. Look right at your screen. He's going to, you see him wiggle right there. He felt that right rear tire go down, moves up way out of the way, does a great job of not causing anybody else any problems.
And plus, there was just enough racetrack for him not to hit that outside wall. The thing gets squirrely with him. He tries to hang on to it and then makes up his mind that something's bad wrong.
That outside line works its way very high through the tri-oval and then comes back down as they cross the start-finish line. It was Colin Brown just behind Mike Skinner by 1/1000th of a second. So Mike Skinner leads that lap here at Talladega.
How about Ron Hornaday? Has he led a lap?
No, but Todd Bodine hadn't won yet either. I'm saying neither one. I'm saying both those streaks in today. Ron Hornaday will lead this race, and I just can't see how Todd Bodine could be fortunate enough to win 5 of these in a row. Could you imagine?
He's in a great position right now. Obviously has a great truck. Just riding along here. Look, they have a lap truck. They're going to have to move up the racetrack to get around this lap truck.
We've got a smoker down on the infield.
Tough break, Jason White.
Jason White in the 23. Looks like the motor's expired for him. We're also seeing Mike Wallace in that white number 48 getting passed on the inside.
Mike's going to try to jump in the tail end of this lead pack.
Yeah, he's now the first truck a lap down. He would get the Aaron's lucky dog if Crafton doesn't get to him soon. Be a tough break for Matt Crafton.
The field working its way down the back stretch. Adam Alexander.
It's been interesting listening to you guys and the observations you're making upstairs about the low lane versus the high lane. Kyle Busch hearing from the spotter stand, the low lane is the way to go. And Colin Brown, the leader who has that pack in tow on the bottom side of the racetrack, is hearing the same thing from both his spotter and crew chief on the stand. They said, you are right where you need to be. The low line is the fast one as of now. Krista?
Wait, not so fast, Adam. Brian Scott thinks the outside is the place to be, and so does his team. They are pumping their fists in the air every time Brian Scott goes by. He's currently the third truck in that outside lane. He is sticking on the tail of Kyle Busch. Brian Scott, only one race here at this track, but it was a top 10. He finished 7th. And remember, he is not just chasing a win. He is chasing Todd Bodine in the points. He is only 10 points out of 4th.
Thank you, Krista. I tell you, you guys, obviously, right now, we've got Mike Skinner and Kyle Busch. They have pulled out in front of Colin Brown. I'm sure they're going to be bringing their trucks down as they do right now to the bottom line. They will take over the top 2 spots. But we see these trucks moving around this racetrack, and they're very close, and yet it is so difficult to explain how much of a technique this is to run so close to each other, but still you've got to ride the brakes, and at the same time you got to look behind, you got to look forward. There's so many things going on.
There's 100 things going on, Rick, and you're exactly right. And so every second mentally it's just taxing. You're trying to make sure you're looking every which way, and you can't look every which way. So the drivers right now, this is as tense as it'll be all year long. Whether you're Mike Skinner leading the race or Kyle Busch in second, all the way back to the guys at the back of this pack, everybody is just wide open, flat out mentally right now, trying to figure out what to do next.
And that's why this race is so mentally exhausting, way more than physically exhausting. But watch Andy Lally. What a nice run up through the middle of the racetrack he has.
Look at Johnny Sauter. He said, how'd you do that? I'm going to try. That worked out pretty good. Andy Lally probably qualified a couple of seconds off the pole. You know, he qualified in the back in a truck that didn't have all the speed it needed. But now look at him. He looked like Superman charging through the middle.
How about these Copart trucks lining up on the middle of the racetrack, trying to put that 6th truck behind them on the outside?
Now they're running close to 185, 90 miles an hour. Do you see them wiggling around? This isn't just a free ticket. You've got to drive your rear end off, and Todd Bodine's going to inch toward the front of this pack with Ron Hornaday pushing him.
Here comes that second line, and now to the way outside goes the 6 of Colin Brown in the Conway Freight Ford F-150. Adam Alexander.
It is so interesting when you look at rivalries and then how they play out on a restrictor plate track or a super speedway for the truck series. Todd Bodine and Ron Hornaday over the years have had their run-ins, but when I asked Bodine in the garage this morning, who do you draft best with, he said without hesitation, Ron Hornaday. And here they are hooked up together, bringing the outside lane to the front through the tri-oval.
And just one slight miscalculation by one of these drivers who's pushing another. Look at Ron Hornaday right on the back of Todd Bodine down in the center of the corner. One slight miscalculation, just off center a little bit with your push, and you're going to turn a truck around right in the middle of the pack.
And look right now, about 4th in line, maybe 5th in line on that outside line is a 6 of Colin Brown. That's why you never know what's going to happen at the end of the race, because Colin was dominating this race. Everybody content to ride along behind him, and then the outside line came, he got shuffled out, and here he is now trying to stay in the top 10.
Mike Skinner again leading the field down on the bottom of the racetrack. The 51 of Kyle Busch just behind him. Todd Bodine and Ron Hornaday are on the outside. We still see that 15 of Eric Almirola right in the top 5. He's third back on the inside line.
Check out Mario Goslin. He's up inside the top 10 in his truck.
How about right behind Colin Brown, that 53 truck, Justin Hobgood, his 2nd start of the year up here in the lead draft, racing well.
Max Pappas also in the number 9. He's in the top 10, running well on the bottom of the racetrack.
This is just hard to expect that they can run this close and this tight all day long and not have somebody make a mistake. It's just almost humanly impossible to ask all these guys to be perfect this whole race.
And remember, you told Rick how the bumpers really don't line up. You really have to know what you're doing to push somebody here without getting them squirrely.
Wayne Auton has come on the radio to a few different teams and said, guys, cool it out there. One of those in particular, the 33 and the 30, said you can't run nose to tail bumping all the way around this racetrack. It's too dangerous.
Had a lead change by 1/100th of a second. Todd Bodine edge out in front of Mike Skinner.